The crested gecko, or eyelash gecko, is a special species of gecko native to southern New Caledonia, a group of islands off the coast of Australia. In 1866, the crested gecko was described by a French zoologist named Alphonse Gounod. This species was thought to be extinct until it was rediscovered in 1944 during an expedition led by Robert Sipe, but we should talk more about that later in the video. While you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Now, crested geckos are a popular pet, and if you've been planning on getting one for yourself, you've come to the right place to learn about this fascinating creature. So, without any delays, here are the top 10 crested gecko facts. Enjoy. Number 10. Fine hairs on their toe pads. Geckos have small and fine hairs on their toe pads. These hairs allow the crested gecko to stick to surfaces, which come in handy because of their arboreal nature. Crested geckos that are kept in a terrarium will often be seen walking on the glass walls. This also applies to wet surfaces, and they can stick to potentially every kind of surface they come into contact with. So next time you see a gecko sticking to a glass wall or on the roof, don't be surprised. Number 9. Fake eyelashes. The most characteristic thing about the crested gecko is found above their eyes. They seem to have eyelashes, and in some languages their name also reflects this feature. Of course, they don't really have eyelashes, but it only looks that way. In fact, they are actually small scales or ridges. Nevertheless, it's one of the things that makes them look so cute. Number 8. They can lick their own eyeballs. Crested geckos don't have eyelids, just as is the case for many other reptiles, but they have to keep their eyes moist, so you may see your crested gecko licking its eyeball from time to time. Licking also removes any dust or debris. It may seem weird at first, but you'll get used to this weird little habit. Plus, knowing that geckos cannot close its eyes due to lack of eyelids, well, we can certainly cut them some slack even for weird habits like that. Number 7. They can bark. Crested geckos can be quite vocal creatures when they want to, making lots of noise. It normally sounds like a chirping sound and is usually made when stimulated or during breeding season, but it can also make a barking sound. This, however, is not a good sign. It's actually a sign that they're uncomfortable and or stressed. So, if you are someone who's looking to get one as a pet, this might be one of the most important points to remember about it. Number 5. They were extinct. After the initial discovery of this species back in 1866, for more than a century it was believed that this animal was no more and marked extinct. Imports to the island of New Caledonia brought destructive species of ants and rats, which killed many of the native species of gecko on the island. However, in 1994, a team of researchers on the islands rediscovered the geckos and brought them into captivity. Originally, little was known about them, but through care and captivity, they were found to be easy to keep and breed and were very prolific. Their ease of care, along with their small size, amazing range of color and pattern, and great personality has made them one of the most popular pet geckos kept in captivity today. Since their rediscovery, they have made an unbelievable comeback. They can live to the ripe old age of 15 to 20 years and are quickly becoming popular pets for lizard enthusiasts. However, they can be expensive to purchase. Price ranges from around $70 to well over $400. Despite their amazing comeback and fame among pet lovers, the crested gecko is still listed as an endangered species in the wild due to the presence of invasive species in their natural habitat. Number 4. Habitat. The crested gecko is found on the principal island Grand Terre and in the southern portion of the Isle of Pines. These arboreal geckos spend the majority of their lives in low shrubs and small trees. The warm and humid season runs from November to March, where temperatures can reach a high of 86, and the cooler dry seasons from June to August, the temperature reaches 72. Throughout the year, rains can reach up to 120 inches, making this Pacific island country very tropical. However, they are very sensitive to high temperatures, and anything above 80 degrees can be fatal for this creature. Number 3. Diet and feeding. In the wild, crested geckos are omnivores, meaning they eat insects as well as various fruits. In captivity, many commercially available crested geckos diets are available that contain most, if not all, essential proteins, vitamins, minerals as needed. Insects such as crickets can also be offered, but should be no larger than the snout to eye on the gecko. Feeding should happen roughly 2 to 3 times a week. Offer food in a small dish at the base of the branch so the gecko doesn't have to touch the ground to eat. This last step is crucial or your gecko might go on a hunger strike. Number 2. Handling. Crested geckos tolerate moderate levels of handling even as hatchlings. Handle crested geckos gently and deliberately, but do not drop or injure the animal. When handling them, allow them to walk on and through your hands. Take care not to grab your gecko by its tail or it may detach if your gecko perceives you as a predator or a threat. Most adult crested geckos will settle down considerably and become quite docile and easy to handle. Crested geckos are animals that generally won't resort to biting unless they feel threatened. The crested gecko bite can be compared to a fish bite. That feels weird and it doesn't hurt or cause any bleeding. Plus, we already told you, if you hear your gecko making any weird noises or barking, it's time to let them be free in their enclosure. And finally, number 1, housing your gecko. So now the most important bit of all, where to keep your gecko if you've bought one. Well, make sure the housing is sealed and escape-proof. The size of the terrarium recommended depends on the age of the gecko. If a juvenile gecko is put in too large of a cage, it may not eat well and get stressed out. For hatchlings up to 6 months old, experts recommend a 10-gallon cage. This allows the gecko to have plenty of room to explore while not making it feel lost in a large and open enclosure. Once the gecko has grown past 6 months, you can increase the tank to double its size. This would be large enough enclosure for the gecko to spend its entire life in. Now, that's all for this video. Don't forget to smash that like button and comment down below what was your favorite fact about the crested gecko. See you guys in the next video.